Hello everyone. In this video lecture, we are going to learn about Cannizaro reaction, which is exclusively shown by aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen, such as formaldehyde or benzaldehyde or trimethyl acetaldehyde. If we take the example of acetaldehyde, the first carbon attached to carbonyl carbon is called alpha carbon and the hydrogen attached to it is alpha hydrogen. So this molecule acetaldehyde has alpha hydrogen present in it and it will not show the Cannizaro reaction. Okay, so once we have understood which type of aldehyde shows Cannizaro and which does not, let us learn about what is Cannizaro reaction. As we discussed, this is the reaction of an aldehyde having no alpha hydrogen with a strong base. Okay, so what happens in Cannizaro reaction? In this reaction, hydride transfer takes place from one molecule of aldehyde to another molecule, either of same aldehyde or different aldehyde. If it takes place between same aldehyde, we will call it simple Cannizaro or Self Cannizaro reaction, and if the reaction takes place between different aldehyde, then we will call it as crossed Cannizaro. Now, let us learn the details of these statements by studying the mechanism of Cannizaro reaction in step-by-step manner. We will take the example of benzaldehyde to carry out this reaction in presence of a strong base such as OH-. The first step of the reaction is nucleophilic attack of OH- ion on carbonyl carbon of benzaldehyde. As a result, the bond pair electron between carbon and oxygen shifts over oxygen. Now, on a side note, if we had taken acetophenone instead of benzaldehyde, then since this molecule has a group with plus I effect, carbon is not sufficiently electron deficient to be attacked by a nucleophile. Rather, in such case, acid-base reaction would take place between OH- and alpha hydrogen and a carboanion will be generated. In this sequence, Aldol reaction would be taking place instead of Cannizaro. Okay, so that's why to carry out Cannizaro, there should be no alpha hydrogen present in the molecule. Okay, so it is exclusively shown by only those aldehydes which do not have alpha hydrogen. Having discussed this, let us move back to our mechanism. After nucleophilic attack of OH- ion on carbonyl carbon, we will get this complex with negative charge developed over oxygen due to shifting of electron. Please note that this step of the reaction occurs quite rapidly. Okay, in the next step, the negative charge over oxygen shifts back between oxygen and carbon and hydrogen leaves the complex as hydride ion. While it leaves the complex, it attacks carbonyl carbon of second molecule. Here we are doing attack on benzaldehyde itself, hence it is an example of simple Cannizaro or self Cannizaro. Due to this attack, again the bond pair electron shifts over oxygen. Now, this migration of hydride to another molecule is the slowest step in this mechanism and hence is the rate determining step. So, after this migration step, we will get carboxylic acid which is formed during the back attack of negative charge on oxygen, and attack of hydride ion on second molecule gives us this anion. Now, between these two species, intermolecular proton transfer is favorable, and after this transfer of proton, we get our final product of this mechanism as carboxylate anion and benzyl alcohol. At this moment, let us try to understand why this intermolecular proton transfer is favorable in this direction by using the pK values of respective species. pKa of benzoic acid is 4.20 while pKa value of benzyl alcohol is around 15. These values of pKa signify that benzoic acid is a stronger acid compared to benzyl alcohol, which is hence a weak acid in this case. And here, by using the concept of Lowry-Bronsted theory of acid and base, we can conclude that conjugate base of benzoic acid will be a weak base and conjugate base of benzyl alcohol will be a strong base. Okay. Now, here is an important point for you to note. Okay. Always keep in mind that in an acid-base equilibrium, equilibrium is favored in the direction in which strong components are consumed and weak components are produced. And that is why here the equilibrium is favored in forward direction and this proton transfer is favorable as such. So this is our final product of Self Cannizaro reaction of benzaldehyde, benzoate anion and benzyl alcohol. Now let us study some of the important points related to Cannizaro reaction. First point to note here is that of two molecules of benzaldehyde, one is oxidized to carboxylate anion and another is reduced to alcohol. Hence, this reaction is an example of disproportionation reaction. Next important point is that what happens if we carry out the reaction in presence of OD minus instead of OH minus. So here is a quiz for you to solve. Please carry out the entire mechanism step by step by using OD minus instead of OH minus and figure out which combination of given products we will obtain in this case. Okay. Once you have solved this quiz, you will find that no deuterium is incorporated in the alcohol. Okay. This will be your final result. It means that transfer of hydride ion takes place completely from one aldehyde to another and it does not comes from the solvent. Okay. Next important note is the rate law of this mechanism. This reaction is carried out in presence of concentrated base. If fairly concentrated base is used, then rate law of this reaction is expressed as follows and it is second order with respect to aldehyde and first order with respect to OH minus. Overall, it is a third order reaction. In presence of a very concentrated base, it is of second order with respect to both aldehydes and base, and overall it becomes a fourth order reaction. This is due to the formation of dianion in presence of very strong base, which is a very good hydride donor. Okay. So next important note is an example of intramolecular Cannizaro reaction. If two carbonyl are present within the same molecule, such as in glyoxal, Cannizaro reaction takes place between them. Such reaction is intramolecular Cannizaro. If we give H plus to carboxylate anion here, it will get converted into glycolic acid. Now, let us discuss the case of cross Cannizaro reaction. If the reaction is carried out between two different aldehydes, then the reaction will begin with attack of nucleophile on the one which has more electrophilic carbonyl carbon, in this case the formaldehyde molecule. You can follow the entire steps of mechanism once again at this point for your practice and check if you have arrived at same result as displayed on the screen. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video lecture would have helped you in understanding the mechanism of this reaction as well as the important points that we discussed about Cannizaro reaction. If you have any doubts related to this topic or in general any topic in chemistry, please post them on comment section or you can also send them to me via my email ID. Okay, so thank you once again for watching and see you in the next video.